From the outside looking in, it appeared that the Phoenix Suns were on their way to having a season that was going to lead them to selecting in next year's NBA draft lottery. But when I look at their season through a context lens, I understand why they got off to a bit of a sluggish start. And what I'm calling a sluggish start, the Phoenix Suns got off to a 1-4 start to this season. And in the games that they were losing pretty badly and allowing a lot of points. Not looking that impressive, but it's understandable. We go back to the offseason for the Phoenix Suns, a lot of changes in just about every aspect of the franchise. Players going in, new players coming in, and players going out. One of those guys being Kevin Durant. We know how impactful and productive he is. Losing a player like KD, that brings a challenge to a franchise. They also have a new head coach and just a new philosophy around the game of basketball. And with all of this happening at an accelerated pace, and basketball being one of the biggest team sports, we know how important chemistry is. So that's what I think it was for the Phoenix Suns. Not to mention one of their best young stars, a guy with so much athleticism, so much skill, Jalen Green. He's only played 2 games out of 13 so far for the Phoenix Suns. And in the game that he made his debut in against the Los Angeles Clippers, he dropped 29 points in just 20 minutes. So they've been missing a huge piece this season. Dillon Brooks has missed some games this season. So injuries, and then also they had a tough schedule to begin the year. So I'll cut the Phoenix Suns some slack in them areas. And then how they looked of late. They've been playing amazing basketball. They won 7 out of their last 10. They've also won 6 out of their last 7. And the Phoenix Suns are currently on a 5-game winning streak. And we look at this mini turnaround for the Phoenix Suns and how they quickly revamped their season. Nothing special happened, nothing magical. No new players have been added to the team, but it's just guys getting used to each other, guys building chemistry, and they're just starting to communicate better. Because we actually look at the Phoenix Suns, looking at them before the season began, at least me personally, even though they lost KD and they lost Bradley Beal, I thought the guys that they were bringing in, I thought the Phoenix Suns looked really damn good. On paper, they bring in Dillon Brooks. Everywhere that Dillon Brooks has been in his NBA career, he has led them to winning games. He's an impactful player on both sides of the basketball. They brought in Jalen Green as well. They brought in Mark Williams. And then you look at what you're adding those guys to. You're adding those guys to Devin Booker, you're adding them to Royce O'Neal, Grayson Allen, Nick Richards, a bunch of capable ball players on a team. And I think that's why we've seen the Phoenix Suns performing in the way that they are, because they do have a bunch of talent, and now they have a playing style and a basketball philosophy and play that is allowing them to thrive on both sides of the basketball. And looking at that change in the style of play, starting on the offensive side of the ball over the last few years, really since the departure of CP3, the departure of DeAndre Ayton, and we've seen the Phoenix Suns move Devin Booker to that point guard position and bring in Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal. We saw the Phoenix Suns, we saw them go away from a much more motion heavy offense to where it was a lot of pick and roll and a lot of isolation. And this season, the Phoenix Suns, they still have Devin Booker at that point guard role, which he showed that he could play with the Phoenix Suns over the last few years. But now they're back to that motion style, get everyone involved offense, make everybody a threat on the offensive side of the ball. Easiest way the Phoenix Suns can do that right now is by D-Book being D-Book. Now, D-Book is in the most dangerous stage of his basketball career. He's in his prime. Now, while I was researching his video, I figured out that this is year 11 for D-Book, and he's just 29 years of age. But it put into perspective how old I'm getting and how old he's getting. I can't believe he's been in the league for 11 years now. But with Devin Booker being the offensive hub that he is, it allows him to eat, and it allows his teammates to eat as well. And what D-Book does is that he causes a lot of attention, or he attracts a lot of attention from multiple guys on the defense. And he's a great isolation player. He's a great player without the basketball, and he's great in the pick and roll. So this is what makes him so dangerous, because on Devin Booker, you got to have a huge list of all the different things that he can do in all the different ways he can beat you. And then when he's isolating, whether it's at the top of the key, the wing, all those different mid-range spots he isolates from, we see him attract so many double teams. And with the personnel that the Phoenix Suns have around him now, there's shooters all over the place. And this has led to the Phoenix Suns being one of the most efficient offenses in the NBA. Even after getting off to a slow start this season, they rank 7th in the NBA in offensive rating. And these guys have been knocking down the three-point shot at a very high level. They're number 3 in the NBA in total three-point field goals made, and then they're 6th in the NBA in field goal three-point percentage. So they've been very efficient in that area. And then also the Phoenix Suns, they are moving the ball. Everybody's making the extra pass. Everybody's making the one more, as they're top 10 in the NBA in assists at number 9, averaging 27 assists per game. So I think Devin Booker, his skill set, his basketball mindset, what he picked up for Kevin Durant, he's learned how to be that offensive ecosystem, because looking at D-Book, he's averaging 28.5 per game. He's doing it very efficiently. He has a true shooting percentage of 62%, over 52% from the field, and he's 36% from the three-point line. And he's also rebounding the basketball, and he's averaging 7 assists. He's playing at a superstar level, playing a very mature game of basketball, and this is leading to his teammates eating as well. Because we look at Devin Booker, we look at the rest of the Phoenix Suns, they have 5 other guys averaging double-digit points per game. So everybody is chipping in from the Phoenix Suns. And looking at some of the guys that has been big time for the Phoenix Suns so far this season, we got to clap it up for Dillon Brooks, because Dillon Brooks has proven to us that, he does a lot of talking and that he can back it up. The biggest thing that Dillon Brooks, or the most wrong thing he's done in his basketball career, is trash talk LeBron James. And but since he did that, he got scapegoated for a lot of things. So, but everywhere he's gone, the Memphis Grizzlies, the Houston Rockets, and now it appears with the Phoenix Suns, they're gonna win ball games, and he's gonna be an impactful player while doing so. And that's what he's been for the Phoenix Suns so far this season. And with Jalen Green missing so much time to begin the season, he's having to take on more of an offensive role for the Phoenix Suns, and he's been doing a pretty solid job at doing so. So far, he's averaging 20 points per game. He hasn't been the most efficient, but he's playing a role that he's not used to. But he's shooting 43% from the field, 32% from 3, but he's also chipping in 2 steals per game. So you guys know what Dillon Brooks is. He's that player that you hate for your team to be playing against, but you would love to have a player like Dillon Brooks on your team. And that applies to all levels of basketball. We know so many guys like that. We know guys like that we play with on the playground, or that we play with in the rec center. Dillon Brooks, he's one of those type of guys. And then we keep looking down this Phoenix Suns roster. Grayson Allen, he's also have to step up and play an elevated role with the absence of Jalen Green in the backcourt. He's been outstanding so far this season for the Houston Rockets. He even had for the Phoenix Suns. I talk about the Rockets a lot, so you guys have to forgive me, but he dropped a 40 piece this season on the New Orleans Pelicans. He's averaging 18.5 per game, and he's shooting the blood out of the basketball at 44%. And there's so many other guys that's chipping in for the Phoenix Suns. You got Royce O'Neal contributing for the Phoenix Suns so far this season, averaging double digits per game, playing good defense and being efficient from the three-point line, shooting over 40% from beyond the arc. You got Mark Williams, who's a double-double threat each and every night. And then you have other guys on this roster that's ready to stand up and deliver whenever guys are not available. So the Phoenix Suns, they're going to be a team to keep our eyes on these next coming weeks, because we've seen them be very low to begin this season. We've also seen them as of late be very high. Now, me personally, I'm betting on them to keep up this standard of play, because like I said, before this season began, I thought they had a very talented roster on paper, and then also they've been able to play this well without one of their best players. And in my personal opinion, I'm a huge fan of Jalen Green. I've been able to watch him a lot over the last 3 years. I think he's a very talented ball player. And when he gets back and fully healthy, and he's usually like an Iron Man, he doesn't miss games. So when he gets healthy for the Phoenix Suns, I think he's gonna make this team even better. But that's what I want to talk about with you guys today. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, comment down below if you agree or disagree, and then subscribe for more weekly content. Do this all the time, man. And that's curtains.